Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's discuss. Today we are discussing Tenet by Christopher Nolan, starring Robert Pattinson and John David Washington. And other people. I didn't look up the other mains, but those are the two mains. Yeah, let's get into it. Spoilers if you haven't seen Tenet. It's been out for like a year now, so spoilers if you haven't seen it. I'm about to get into it. It's the thick of it. Into the thick of it. We're jumping through the bush, on and on we push, into the thick of it, but we can't see where we're going. Into the thick of it.
I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I have a love-hate relationship with Tenet, because I love sci-fi, and I love anything that has things like, if the plot is centered around, like, time travel, space, alternate realities, anything like that, it's for me. It's for me. But the thing with this plot is that it's so... I just don't get it. That's the thing. That's the thing with this plot. I just don't get it. It's so complicated. And I feel like if you don't understand it within the first 10 minutes, you're not gonna like it, because this entire movie is about the plot. It's not about the characters, it's about the plot. And I'll get into the characters in a second. But let's start with the plot. So the plot is, if I can explain it, we'll see. Here's the test of if I can explain the plot of Tenet, because I didn't understand it. Basically, Robert Pattinson and John David Washington are on a mission to prevent World War III. And World War III is caused by this guy named Andre Sator, played by, I don't know. But Andre Sator is our main antagonist. I'm surprised he actually has a name and his name isn't just antagonist. Moving on. So he's going to start World War III, and he's going to start this by kind of inverting the world. The way they do time travel is that instead of, like, you know, this basic go back into the past, mess around a bit, or go into the future and save somebody, I don't know. It's like, do everything backwards. You're going to go back in time and just everything starts to move. So you move through time as time's kind of moving, but from your perspective, it looks like everything's going backwards because you're moving back whilst everything's going forward. And somehow he found some way to, like, destroy the past from the future. Because, you know, he's just going to go back through time into the past and then just, I don't know, destroy the world or something. With this thing called an algorithm. I don't even understand what the algorithm is. It's like 9 separate pieces. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean where they're like 9 pieces of 8. It's like that, but with time. And yeah, I didn't really get it, but they were just trying to stop him the whole time. That was it. That's the basics of the plot. It's a lot more complicated than that, and I can't even explain it. And that's just my biggest problem with this movie, is that it's so complicated. And I only really started to actually kind of like it when I stopped trying to understand it. When I just said, you know what? Let's stop acting like I'm an intelligent being and can comprehend what the hell this movie's about. And once I did, I guess I was along for the ride, but I guess I kind of started to like it more. And it does have very good tense moments. You just have to just go in understanding that you're not going to understand the movie, and that's fine. And if you do understand the movie, you should probably work for NASA, CIA, someone higher up if you understand it. Because I feel like the regular old common folk are going to be like, what the hell is this movie about? And I'm like, I can't even tell you if you held a gun to my head. If you hold a gun to my head and explain the plot of Tenet, you're just gonna have to tell my family that I love them with my whole heart, because the reason why that's my biggest issue is because this is a movie that was made for the plot. It was made for the idea of Tenet. And so if you don't get it, the movie doesn't work. The characters, they're just there to do the mission. They're there for the sake of the plot, and so this movie can exist. So it's not just a piece of paper on the idea of Tenet, and it's actually something that can come to life. That's what the characters are here for. And that's why the plot being so complicated makes the movie kind of like... and it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. If you have to sit through a 2 hour and 30 minute movie and you don't even understand the plot, it's just so hard. It's just so hard. I kept getting on TikTok because I couldn't understand it. Maybe I couldn't understand it because I wasn't paying attention, but still. If the characters had anything to them, I probably would have liked this even more. So let's get into the characters now. Let's start with John David Washington. His character, who doesn't have a name, he's literally the protagonist. That's his whole thing. I wish, because the idea of his arc is actually very interesting, and it really does tie into the whole plot of the movie, and it's very interesting, but there's no real character development, because I don't even know where he started from. He kind of just starts as a guy that knows nothing, but I'm like, where did he freaking come from? What are his personal interests in all of this besides just, saving the world and saving the white girl that he loves? Besides all that, why is he here? How did he get here? Who is he as a person? What is his past? How has his past shaped him, and why he's here today, and all of his goals, and who is he? Who is he? Because he has actually a pretty interesting arc that if it was developed more and I actually got to focus in on who he actually is as a person, it would have made this movie like 10 times better. So he basically starts as like, he knows nothing. I guess he's new to Tenet. The whole organization is called Tenet. The organization that's going back in time and trying to save the world from World War III, they're called Tenet. That's the name of the movie, Tenet. So he's new to Tenet, right? And by the end of the movie, we find out, and he finds out, that he pretty much founded Tenet. At least I'm assuming he did. I haven't watched like a Tenet Explained. I probably should. But I think he ends up being the person that created Tenet. And we find that out in the end, and so does he. So we're honestly going on a journey through time as he realizes that he started this whole thing. And Tenet was his idea. Yeah, and we even find out that he knew Robert Pattinson so much longer. And that's why Robert Pattinson's character was so secretive and wouldn't tell him things, because he knew if he told him anything, he would probably set him off on a different path other than starting Tenet in the future and then, coming back to doing all this. There's this line that kind of sums his whole arc, and he was talking to Priya, who's this, like, arms dealer lady. I don't know, she's someone who helps him get to Andre Sator. She tells him he's not the protagonist. He's a protagonist. He's not the one that's gonna go off and save the world. He's just like a player in the game. He's just another piece to the puzzle. And then he says in the end, I'm the protagonist. Hinting, and he tells it to Priya. He says to Priya, I am the protagonist. Because at this point we realize he is the founder of Tenet. He started this whole thing. So I just wish we could have seen his journey to be from being a protagonist to the protagonist. Would have been so much more interesting if I knew who he was as an actual person. It also doesn't help that a lot of his lines, just exposition. He was either being explained to about what's going on, or he was doing the explaining, or he was going out trying to find X person to help him stop Sator. So it was a lot of like, everything that came out of his mouth was a lot of exposition, a lot of about the mission and whatnot. But I was like, what about you? Who are you? What do you want? Why are you here? Robert Pattinson, my favorite character out of the whole movie, and he too was a plot device. He just comes in and is just here for the rest of the movie. I like the relationship he has with John David Washington. Knowing that their characters were supposed to have known each other for a while makes a lot more sense. And it explains why he was so secretive. Because, he didn't want to steer him off the path of becoming the founder of Tenet. So, I really liked the relationship he had with John David Washington. I liked his character. I thought he was cute. I thought he was funny. I just thought he was cool. I thought he was fun, cute. I just like Robert Pattinson. But yeah, I liked his character. He dies in the end. I was very upset about that. My favorite fucking character, and he's dead. What the hell? I really don't have much to say about Robert Pattinson. What I said about John David Washington could be applied to Robert Pattinson. I've seen reviews that say the same things. Like, the characters, they're kind of just empty and you wish that they weren't. So, you've probably heard people say this a million times. The characters were kind of empty. Kate, like I said, she's probably the most developed out of all of them. She was fine. I think the actress who played her did great. The actress who played her did a great job. Great performance from her. She's the most developed character, so she was fine. Not much I have to say about her. Andre Sater, the guy did good at playing, you know, an egotistical maniac. The whole possessive, if I can't have you, then no one can have her, then no one can, with his wife. Like, he told her, the reason I'll never let you go is because if I can't have you, then no one else can. And then that translates to him dying. If he's gonna die, the whole world will too. And that's the whole thing. He made it to where, when he dies, the algorithm will go off and destroy the world. Don't ask me, I don't know. And that's World War III, essentially. So he was like, if I die, the whole world's gonna die with me. Because he was dying already. We found out he has cancer, and so he was dying. So he was like, all right, I'll just take the whole world with me. So I like how his abusive relationship also reflects on how he just feels about himself and the whole world. He always sees himself so above everyone. Ego. There's nothing worse than a white man's ego. And that's basically all. Those are the characters that I feel I need to mention. Everyone else was just there to service the plot, like everyone else. Everyone was just a plot device. So I feel like those are all the characters I need to mention. So now we can go on to technical things. I did not major in radio, television, and film at my school, and I probably should have, because I don't know how to describe the technical aspects of film, but I'll tell you this, it was good. It was cool. I just know this film was made so Christopher Nolan could show off his visual effects and his sound effects. He said, I'm gonna make a movie about moving through time, going backwards through time, and it's gonna look great. And it did. It looked very cool. And I feel like he did, because I know I said it was very complicated and I didn't like that. I still liked the idea of Tenet. I just wish I could have understood it more. So I also give him props for writing it, and then the directing, and then the editing. Everything about it, on the technical side, very good. I know some people were saying in the movie theaters, you couldn't hear what people were saying because of the sound. And I found places where I could see that happening. Like, there was this one part in the beginning where Robert Pattinson was trying to steal this artifact from Andre Sater, and they were in like an underground, I guess, vault, and he was being given a tour because Robert Pattinson was posing as a businessman who also wanted to hide his stuff in that vault, and he was being given the tour by some guy, and as they were walking through and the guy was talking, you couldn't hear a word they were saying because there were just other noises going on and it was so loud. But I'm watching this on my iPad, HBO Max. I had captions on, so I was chilling. I didn't really notice anything about you can't hear what they're saying. I didn't see this in theaters. So my final thoughts on Tenet. One, is everything not a loop then? Because he's just gonna go off and create Tenet with the whole purpose of stopping World War III. So did we break the loop, or are we just continuing on to that journey? Because Robert Pattinson says to him before he dies, he says to John David Washington, yeah, you and I got up to some crazy stuff. You're at the beginning of your journey, I'm at the end. So the Robert Pattinson we've been seeing, he's coming to the end of his little storyline. He's about to go die. But the John David Washington, he's at the beginning. Robert Pattinson's been helping him get to the beginning of where he needs to go, which is to become the founder of Tenet. So if he's at the beginning, are we not just going to go back and do this all over again? Or did we break the loop and now he's going to go off and, I don't know, stop more egotistical maniacs from using time to start World War III? What are we doing? Where are we going from here? I don't know. I don't get that, but moving on. Yeah, my ending thoughts on Tenet is that it was good. I have a love-hate relationship. I liked it. I liked the idea of it. I liked the theory. I liked the execution in terms of technical standpoints. I like that. The plot and the characters needed some work. It needed some work. Characters, every last one of them were plot devices, and the plot was so goddamn confusing, I was losing my mind trying to figure it out. But I sat through the whole 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I wasn't completely bored. That's the thing. I'm not bored because I like the idea. So I'll give it that. I like the idea, so I wasn't bored by it. I just wish it could have been, I don't want to say dumbed down, but maybe made more accessible. That's the word I'm looking for. Maybe that just also means dumbed down. I'm sorry, film majors out there. I got a C in intro to math. I'm not that intelligent. Please leave me alone. Anyways, so that's Tenet. Thank you guys so much for watching my very quick, non-scripted review, because I need to start scripting these things, because I be going off on tangents and then forget what I wanted to say in the first place. Anyways, alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Tenet. Let's discuss. Let's have a discussion about time. And yeah, I know I said in my last video that my new video would be about Gossip Girl. I lied. I did record a video on Gossip Girl, but it was 11 o'clock at night and it was very impromptu, so I'm not even sure if I liked it. So I might not even upload. I might re-record it. Who knows? Eventually I'll probably talk about Gossip Girl. But until then, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!